As I sit here contemplating a future where the next main series Pokemon games are apparently called Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, I choose to look positively at the world and check out some Yugioh Vrains, only to be left more middling and confused and kind of in the mood for some chicken. I actually haven't eaten in a while. Anyways, so this week we pretty much got confirmed what I think we were all suspecting, what I think I brought up last week, that they seem to not really have any clue what to do with Go. Oh, God, this is where we all learn the term tonal dissonance. What that basically means is that what they're trying to get across is not working with what actually is being presented. And what we have here is they're trying to present this idea that Go is lost, that he's lost the path and he needs to go back on it, but he's still that good-hearted guy deep down. He just needs the right influence. In comes Takeru / Soulburner, who is that influence because he can be that supportive, sort of inspirational guy that Yusaku can't. What unfortunately, at least for me, it's coming across that Go is just an asshole who hasn't learned anything. Like, when your opening scene is the flashback to Akira being like, look, Playmaker went through some real shit and he's suffering and that's why he's so intense, followed by Go being like, I need to beat the shit out of you so I can be popular and feel good about myself again, those don't go together. Like, I'm sorry, but it just doesn't. Like, there's a million other ways you could sort of implement it. Maybe be like he wouldn't hand in Playmaker. Maybe be like he has other reasons to not trust Playmaker. Like, there are ways to do this. They just didn't think of any, and the only logical reason I could think is, well, Go is a main character. We've used him in a lot of the marketing, so he's gotta still be here, because that's honestly just what it's coming across as. Again, it just doesn't fit with everything we know about Go. It should be he learns about the Lost Incident and wants to help Yusaku or be Playmaker's friend. Like, these are things that are established in this guy's personality. Yeah, he's vain, he's arrogant, he can be full of himself. But at the end of the day, he is still about inspiring and entertaining and wanting to make people happy. That is sort of the point. This was the same problem in Arc 5 with Yuya and the smiling and all that stuff. It is a good message and there is a place for it in this kind of story, but it needs to be more thought out than just he needs a gimmick. That's really what's going on here, and I sort of hope now that we're past the awkward reintroduction of where Go is in his life, hopefully from here we can maybe kind of just move past this. And it stinks this is so distracting because I really liked everything else in this episode. First up, I like that Akira's kind of cute but kind of goofy looking assistant did something, and it was actually something important, and it's a legitimate thing. Like, 20 years of this franchise, how often has duels been interrupted by just like, I'm not wasting my time taking chances on this children's card game? I really like that bit. Like, she's just like, no, he'll get demoted, and if we're talking in terms of the real world, they'll all probably lose their jobs. And just like, look, I can't lose my job. This is Japan. I got pachinko debts to pay off. So I like the bit. I like that she seemed genuinely... It was weird, the face she made, like sort of that weird evil look. I doubt they'll make her like a yandere type villain or anything like that. I don't know if that's supposed to still be kind of funny, but it was just kind of a weird face to make. Like, if it was more of a I'm sure of myself type thing, I thought it would have been fine, but when you kind of phrase it as evil, it just sort of feels weird. But that being said, again, I like that scene because it showed Soulburner and it shows us, the audience, that Go is still in there, that he did try to protect Takeru, that integrity for what a duel is to him still means something. Those are nice little things, and I like the fact it came from a way that made sense. She is an outsider. She doesn't see the importance of dueling. She's more concerned about Akira and his job. That is very reasonable, and it's a nice little grounded way to go about a very nice little grounded scene. And then Akira being like, "Don't interrupt a duel!" I feel like that is Akira sort of thinking Soulburner will beat Go, and obviously it feels like Akira is going to be the double agent character in this. He's technically doing his job, but he's also in it to help Playmaker and stop Soul Technologies, whatever they're planning to do. That's where that seems to be going. Moving on to the Soulburner stuff. That I liked. I liked that a lot. It's interesting to look at how Soulburner, Takeru, as a kid, obviously went through the same tragedy as Yusaku, and may have went through more. We don't know what the deal is with Yusaku's family, or like who his legal guardian is, or any of that. We really don't know anything about Yusaku. It's kind of a problem. But with Takeru, he went through the same horror as a Yusaku. I did think it was a little weird they made it that he came back and it just seemed almost like he fell off a hill or something. Like he wasn't just tortured for a year. It was just like, yeah, it's just been a rough day. But fine. I liked how he may have had it worse. His parents also died looking for him, but in a way, he still lived a better life than Yusaku. Like, it's interesting how they have so much in common because of all the things they've went through, but that personal choice to try and kind of live in society. And I know that the dialogue is he wasn't really living, he was half-hearted in everything, but sort of look at the sort of context clues we were given here. We saw that he had kind of a cool look to him. I do think it's interesting that he sort of tones himself down while he's undercover, like, sort of, it's him he looks more like he did when he was a little kid as opposed to how he did in the flashback. Sort of that he, sort of that idea that he feels like his life is now back on track and he can resume where he left off as a kid. But look at that scene. I don't think it was an accident that it was told from the perspective of, let's go with his girlfriend. Let's just be fun about it. It's obviously nobody dates in the Yugioh world, but no, but I like that it was told from her perspective, indicating that there are normal bystander, not relatives, who care about him, who seem to be friendly around him, who are interested in him. That creates a clever contrast, not dissonance, actual clever contrast between how he views himself and how other people view him. Maybe he's been able to get away through life living a lie, like putting up a brave face that he's okay. Maybe it's because he had his grandparents to help him get in through it, where it seems like Yusaku didn't have anybody. These are very sort of nice things we can speculate about, and I like that the show presents them in a way that feels speculative. Even the flashback had that really bright, almost haziness look to it. Like, maybe that's not really how it goes, or maybe because for him, that's sort of the him he created, it feels almost like a fantasy. These are interesting ideas, and that he seems to be more open about what happened to him, that that girl seems to know what the deal is. I hope she comes back. I'd like it if someone had an actual, like, connection to something outside whatever just their stupid subplot is in the show. But, yeah, all that works. And as for the duel itself, how it resolves, fun. I liked it. It's cool to see rituals come in. Also, again, Yusaku used a ritual, now he's using a ritual. Maybe it's because their decks are supposed to be similar, like how Decode and Heat Leo have like the same sort of link markers type thing. It might also just be that rituals deserve better. that could also just be it. And rituals are getting good support, so there's that. The thing he summoned, though, at the end, I wasn't crazy about, just because I don't like that it sort of goes against the theme of his deck. And many people will be like, well, it's called Emerald, and maybe because it's a ritual monster, it's supposed to be different. I still think I'd prefer it if it was the red and orange color. That's just how that's supposed to look. And also the effect seems really bad. Like, you have to attribute a Link monster to be just sort of a generic battle blow-up thing. Like, that's not what we need if we want to fix rituals, boys. But other than that, yeah, the Go thing kind of spoiled it, but I liked a lot of what was set up here. I'm really curious to see where things are going with Takeru. And also, this flame line at the beginning there where he flat out calls explaining your strategy for its bullshit. That is brilliant. I think the Ignises are the best thing they could have done for this show. But what did you think below? In the comment section below, give me your thoughts on this episode. Where do you think it's going? Do you hope that it turns out Takeru actually has a girlfriend and she's relevant? Do you like Akira's sidekick? Please don't call her a thought. I'm really sick of hearing the term thought thanks to Darling in the Franks fanbase. And as for the TCG question of the week, with our new ban list, what do you intend to be playing? There's a lot of interesting stuff running around. A lot of people who still have faith in Pen Magicians and True Draco to have a presence. I'm sticking with World Childs for the time being. Might switch over to Brandish. Not really sure. But tell me below. And as always, click to like, click to subscribe. And, well, let's see if Go stops being an asshole.